Hi there everyone out there on YouTube. In today's video I'm going to be donating to charity on camera. As you're aware, I've been accepting donations through PayPal at VenomFangX for those who want to support my ministry. This has been met with a bit of controversy as some feel that I'm not using the money in an honest or pleasing way. Well, I'm hoping to alleviate those fears by donating $500 American to charity right now. For those of you who would like to accuse me of doing wrong, I encourage you, make a video response to this video in which you donate $500 on camera. If you want to bring accusation against me, otherwise, you may feel free to keep your mouth shut. Because quite frankly, it's very easy to accuse people of doing wrong, very hard to congratulate them when they do right.
Shawn, you said that any amount of cash you received exceeding $500 per month you would donate to the Sick Children's Hospital in Toronto. And as yet, there is no evidence that you've donated anything to them. They are aware of the kind offer you made. In the 1990s, I worked for a children's charity. I won't name the charity in question because I'm not saying this as their representative, but as a private individual. My special skill is a talent to make people laugh. I do this with clowning, performing, and circus skills. I joined a humanitarian aid group which specialises in providing entertainment and laughter for children in trouble spots. We did a lot of work in Bosnia and the former Yugoslavia during the war there. I did this voluntarily. I received no payment. I also worked in the London office of this aid group for several years in the times that I was not overseas. If we could put a cash value on my contribution, this is a rough breakdown of what I would expect if I had been working in the commercial sector. For 3 years working in a London office, $30,000 per year, so that's $90,000. For working overseas in a war zone, $1,000 per week. I did a total of 6 months field work, so that comes to $26,000. For each show I performed in, $200. I did roughly 200 shows, so this comes to $40,000. I wrote and directed one of the shows, and it has been translated into other languages and used elsewhere. I would charge $2,000 for writing it, $2,000 for directing it, and I would charge a royalty of $3,000 for subsequent performances of it. Now we could argue a few $1,000s one way or the other, so let's call that a total of $150,000. As I said, I didn't get paid for any of this, and yet I did a professional job. The shows that I were in were seen by around 25 to 30,000 children, and although I cannot put a cash value on their laughter, that was my reward for the work I did. And you, Shawn, you are incapable of approaching students and talking to them without needing people to subsidize you with cash donations. Your freedom is dependent on a PayPal donate button on a website. That's a lovely microphone you have, Shawn. I wonder how much medicine you could buy for the same money. You haven't offered any explanation for why all of a sudden you need more than $500 a month to live on. It's indicative of your total incompetence that you cannot hold down a simple retail job without preaching fundamentalist religion on your boss's time. You've made a big deal of donating money to charities, money that you begged for in the first place. If I worked at the hospital for sick children, and I knew about what you had said and done, I wouldn't say anything about it, as that would be unprofessional and probably a waste of time. In any case, if they're going to contact you, it'll be through their lawyers, but I would be seething with anger if I worked there, at how you made money by using the good name of an excellent charity, and then you completely failed to back up your words with the appropriate action. Be aware, Shawn, there are all kinds of people watching you, not just atheists and scientists, but seasoned humanitarian aid charity workers too, and as one such person, in my opinion, you are not worth spitting on. And Shawn, this opinion has nothing to do with religion, evolution, or any of that. Just look at you. By the time I was your age, I'd been living away from my parents for 5 years, and they'd sold up and left the country. You're living as a spoilt child who refuses to grow up, and yet you think you can tell other people how to live? Shawn, I'm twice your age, and in comparison you have no life experience to back up anything you say. It was good of you to donate that money to charity, apart from the religious charlatan, and I don't want to take away anything from what it's worth to those organisations, but look at your motivation. Not to make the world a better place, but to show that you are somehow better than your critics. Being charitable is not exclusive to believers or non-believers, and making it into an us versus them competition is absurd, whatever your beliefs about religion or science. I donate gifts and time and energy to charity, not to show that I'm better than anybody else or to make anyone feel guilty, but because I want to. I put a lot into it and I get a lot out of it. Most other people don't want to get as involved as I do, and that's fine. So, no, Shawn. Look, you're very theatrical, what with makeup and Batman costumes and so on, and as a performer myself, I know when a person is acting and when he's being genuine. You use performance skills to manipulate your audience. When you challenge critics to be as generous to charity as you, what you're actually doing is a piece of stage magic. Stage magicians use a technique called misdirection, where the performer makes the audience look in one place while the real action is going on elsewhere. Shawn, you need your critics just so you can use them to draw attention away from the obvious fact that you are a charity case yourself, living off other people's labour and generosity, and look where you live. You already live in luxury. Shawn, you have such a slender grasp of reality because you have no idea about responsibility because you've never had to be responsible for yourself. You have no idea what truth is about because you have no need to value it. To you, Shawn, the truth is whatever makes you look good and not feel like the inexperienced, sad, lonely, spoilt child you are. And Shawn, I don't hate you and I don't want you dead. I want you to grow up. But do you really want to be a confidence trickster when you grow up, Shawn? Because that's what your chosen career is. Right, now I feel I should balance this, Shawn, with the positive things I can say about you. I remember a video you made once in which you advised people to remember to brush their teeth. That's about the most sensible thing I can recall you ever saying. Anyway, I'm not doing much aid work these days. Last summer I was diagnosed with cancer. I don't complain about this, it's just how it is and I deal with it. I don't want prayers or any other supernatural healing garbage. Good, solid, science-based medicine is what's keeping me going. While I was on medication, I spent more time on YouTube than I normally would, and I found Thunderfoot's excellent channel, and that, Shawn, is how I heard of you. So you need your opponents to publicise you. As I spent more time on YouTube and saw more of your videos, I was staggered at how you thought you could behave with your ignorance, your self-righteousness and arrogance. I was content to let qualified scientists deal with you, as I didn't have the energy or even the qualifications. But now that you've ventured into terrain very close to my heart, I feel compelled to speak out. If having cancer makes me feel bad, and if the side effects of the medicine I take make me feel bad, that's nothing compared to how I feel at the thought that you can promise other people's money to sick children, and then when the money arrives you keep it for your own selfish purposes. I still work part-time for an understanding employer. I need to take time off for treatment, but I still donate at least $30 each month to charity. You challenge people to donate $500. Have you learnt nothing from the Bible? This is Luke chapter 21. And he looked up and saw the rich men casting their gifts into the treasury. And he saw also a certain poor widow casting in thither 2 mites. And he said, Of a truth I say unto you, that this poor widow hath cast in more than they all. For all these have of their abundance cast in unto the offerings of God, but she of her penury hath cast in all the living that she had. I think, Shawn, it's time you understood the religion you preach. Thank you for watching.